Joining me now from Los Angeles, founder of the #WalkAway campaign, Brandon Straka. Brandon, thank you for joining me.
Thanks, Stephanie. It's good to be here.
So, Brandon, we're starting to hear leftists rail against the cancel culture, if you will, because they finally realize that the cancel culture is probably going to go after them.
True. And that's sort of unsurprising to me, too. I mean, honestly, part of the reason why I left the left, there was a whole collection of reasons, but I sort of experienced that to a certain degree myself. Early on, when I was a liberal previous to 2017, a number of social issues came up in which I started speaking out. And it's really interesting as a member of the LGBT community myself, even just questioning certain tenets of the ideology that sort of the radical LGBT community is now pushing for was enough for me, as someone who I always considered myself to be an LGBT rights activist, to get canceled from within my own community. And when you start to see that there is no loyalty, people who have dedicated their lives to being advocates for certain social justice causes are getting canceled over maybe one or two statements that they made years ago, or like the case you just mentioned, even cases where it wasn't necessarily the person, but a family member, a friend, an associate. So it's completely out of control.
Yeah, and we recently saw the Harper's Magazine open letter with many journalists signing on this, and basically it was in opposition to cancel culture. And now the cancel culture is going after everyone who signed this letter. Isn't that incredible?
Yeah, well, it's like a social cancer. And I think it will just devour everything until everyone, or at least the vast majority of people, step up and say, this is insanity. And I mean, I really liken it to a modern day Salem witch trial. For many of us, when we were growing up, when we were in school, we were learning about the Salem witch trials, and we thought, that's how preposterous. Like, how could humanity ever go through a phase where people were behaving this way? But we're actually sort of seeing it acting out in real time. We're experiencing it, because to be labeled a racist or to be labeled a bigot is kind of synonymous with what it would have been like to be labeled a witch at that point, because it became a real hunt to go out and cancel people, destroy them, damage them. And I think that people, number one, weak-willed people, number one, don't want to be accused themselves, and they don't want the finger pointed at them. But there is a perverse pleasure that people are taking in destroying other people, and that's what we're seeing right now.
Yeah, and what I worry about is when people just throw that around, call everyone a racist, a bigot, misogynist, then when it actually comes time where there is actually a racist, bigot, or misogynist, it's hard to take it seriously because it's been so watered down by society. Because if everyone is a so-called witch, as you were talking about the witch trial, then then no one is.
Right, exactly. And one of the new messages of the left, as they're sort of redefining on a daily basis what racism is, what being a racist means, what bigotry is, and the definition of that is becoming broader and broader and broader. One of the new messages that they like to push is that all white people are inherently racist. Well, when all white people are inherently racist, it kind of loses its sting when somebody says, that's racist, that's racist. It's like, well, but I'm automatically a racist because I'm white. So at what point do I even have to continue to care about this?
Yeah, I have a feeling also, I get called racist all the time, and people don't even realize I'm a minority daughter of an immigrant from Mexico. And so every time I say I support border security and this and that, I immediately get called a racist when people don't realize half my family lives in Mexico. So it's not, right. I'm not racist against, border security. I just think it's great for our country. Every country has the right to have secure borders. And I'm sure you've probably been called homophobic.
Oh, numerous times. Yeah. In fact, it's really interesting because for people who have followed some of the things that I've been through with Walkaway, we've had numerous LGBT events that we've done canceled. And in fact, we actually we filed a lawsuit against one of the venues who canceled us. And our lawsuit was recently thrown out of court. And the judge who threw the lawsuit out of court, a heterosexual woman, deemed me and my associates for this LGBT town hall, which was another gay Jewish conservative and a transgender conservative and myself. They deemed us to be homophobic and a danger to the queer community.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.